And we are live. It's another Friday night. The weeks just go by and go by. I can't believe we're almost at the end of October
They
already.
do.
And I'm like, where's my fall going? I want my fall. But we still have some beautiful colors in the area. So it's nice to be able to
It's
drive.
gorgeous here. There's a spot on my route downtown Ann Arbor that's just like stunning. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have that one street that's just got tons
Yep.
of maples and and yeah, it's really really beautiful.
Yeah,
So,
we've had really nice weather this past week, and with the sun coming out and the blue sky, when that light just hits the back of the trees, and it's just like they're on fire, the
yep,
yellows, the oranges,
yep,
the reds,
yep,
it just takes my breath away. I love it so
yep.
much. Um,
Ann Arbor is full
so,
of trees. That's why it's called Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor, oh,
Um,
I would
but
love
yeah,
to
like
visit
downtown
someday.
campus, it's just ridiculous because it's all protected and it's just gorgeous, huge established trees. It's really beautiful.
Yes. So, Ange had another wonderful show. Today was fun. Her and
Nice.
I, along with Karen, Ginger, and I think it was, wait a minute, Karen. Oh, and Brian, Blushing Your Tarot. We were all surprise guests on Bobby's channel last night. So that was fun. We had a lot of
Oh,
wonderful
nice.
readings. And Bobby said, you can't tell anybody. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, I guess I can't, because he didn't know who it was, who was going to be the surprise guest. And he didn't want it spoiled. So it was so much fun waiting to see who was going to pop, into chat or onto the screen with us. So and then Ange had Karen today. They did their Charmed show today, which was a lot of fun. And so, yeah, just a lot of wonderful shows. And Moira is here. Hello, Moira. And she's like, hey, ladies. Hello. Here, let me scroll up a little bit more. Earl is here. Hello, Earl. How have you been, my
Hey,
dear?
Earl.
Good to see
Oh,
you.
that reminds me. I gotta remind me. I got something funny to tell everybody.
Okay, Debbie.
The
Debbie
name
is
Earl reminded
Earl.
me. Not our Earl, but
Our
another
Earl
Earl.
here. Lindsay's here. And yeah, I was so surprised. Yeah, I didn't even know about I all I knew, Angie, it was going to be you on, and then Bobby said, maybe a couple of others, but you're not gonna know. Don't tell anybody. Don't ruin the surprise. And I'm like, okay. So it was fun, last night. It was a blast. And so we're caught up with saying hello to everybody. Thank you for joining, Allison. And I know we got a couple of other Friday night shows going on. So, Allison, I appreciate you coming in. And before Allison gets to her story so that people can think about it in chat, um, if you have anything paranormal, dreams, questions that maybe we can answer, or any experiences that you would like for us to pull cards on, please go ahead and put those in chat. We would love to be able to pull cards on that for y'all tonight for fun. And boy, more people are coming in. Shelby is here. Ellen R is here. Hello, hello. So thank you, everybody. And again, we know we love the conversations in chat. So anything you would like for us to pull cards on that you're not sure of, go ahead and do that. And Miss Tarot D, hello, my dear. The queen has arrived. The queen, the queen. Um, all hail the queen, right? Hello, Garnet, my dear. Good to see you. So alrighty. So what you got?
Oh, I just thought of something funny when Earl popped in to say hi. So this week was, it was just another week. For the most part, I did go and visit my sister briefly today. She had jury duty this week, so I couldn't hear anything about it till the case had ended, which it did. So I got to get all the details on that. That was interesting. And I took my new car over. She hadn't seen it yet. She wanted to see my car. And my brother-in-law actually got into an accident. He's fine.
Ooh.
I actually, you know what? I need to find out exactly what day it was. I think it might have been the same day I got my car, honestly, because it was about a little over a week ago. Yeah, somebody rear-ended him on the expressway. The person was having a medical emergency. I'm pretty sure it was a diabetic. that just,
Yeah.
flipped out or knocked out is really more like it, and then hit him going close to 100 mile an hour. But he was going speed limit, so like 60, something like that. It's actually the best way to get rear-ended. Like that, hit him square on, and so they totaled his Subaru.
Well, thank God
Which
he
was
walked away.
which was he's fine. He's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. Which was like a 2021, I think. So he'll be getting a brand new vehicle. But he's okay. What else? But anyway, what I was gonna say is, not that it's a big deal. It's just kind of like more like it's funny, and it's not a long story at all. But a lot of you know I somehow managed to mention it probably too much. But anyways, I'm a school bus driver, but something funny happened on, I think it was Wednesday. Not really funny, but kind of funny. So I'm driving my middle schoolers home. It's the afternoon, and I've got a fairly small group. I only have like 30 kids probably total on the bus. The bus is not even half full, right? That's my middle school kids. And anyways, and Wednesday most of them are there. There's not a whole lot of after school activities on Wednesdays. So anyways, there's two boys out of all those kids that are a little rambunctious, right? There's always one or two.
There's always one or two.
There's always one or two. And they're both, honestly, they're probably perfectly fine. Like if I was over at their house hanging out with their mom and the kid was there, both of these boys, they're just, they're just kind of loud and just kind of whatever, and not that it matters because it doesn't. They're both really cute boys too, which I'm kind of more just they're charming and whatever, but they're obnoxious and loud and whatever. Well, the littler one of the two, he's a sixth grader. I'm driving the other day. I'm at my first stop. He gets off at the second stop, the one boy that I'm talking about. So I'm at the first stop, and I had just told them, and I rarely say anything unless they're really being obnoxious, because they're really not that bad. They're just kind of loud and sometimes walk around a little bit and stand up in their seats and that kind of stuff. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to stay in their seats and not scream and yell, and that's about it. And for the most part, that's what happens. Well, anyways, I have a railroad procedure that I have to do 5 times a day. I do it twice in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, the way that the route runs. But anyways, I was doing my railroad procedure and they were being kind of loud. So I had to tell them, to be quiet, sit down. One of them, not one of the many boys that are in the back, right? It's always the boys in the back that are a handful, right? Nothing's changed with that. Anyways, they are cute though. They really are. But anyways, I get to my first stop, and as soon as I do there's a whole system of what you got to do. And I see something quick motion, right? Like my eyes drawn to it. And I thought something fell out of a tree in front of me and onto my windshield. So I turned on my wipers, and then I realized, no, it was inside the bus. So, because again, I didn't see it. I saw it like peripheral above my head. So what happened, this one boy, I don't even know what you call it. He threw a grape, but it's bigger than a grape. So it's a grape, but it's really big. We have them in California, and I don't know where they're native from, but they used to have them at my Whole Foods there. Anyways, he threw it from the back of the bus. Probably was throwing it at me. I don't know. Anyways, it hit the windshield and then it slid down, right? So the juice is sliding down on the inside. And it was just one. And it didn't make a big mess or anything. And it hit probably that far from the bottom. So it kind of arced and went down. But I thought, like the way I saw it, I could have sworn it fell like out of the tree that I just pulled up next to, right? When you pull over to stop. Anyways, I look up in my rear view, and they're all kind of, and I was just like, and I was going to do the PA, but I didn't. I just yelled, and I said, I don't remember my exact words. I'd be lying, but I
Mm-hmm.
said, all right. I said, y'all, I've told you, because I've warned, and it's my bad. I have warned these boys so many times, and I never
Don't
do
make me
anything
come
because
back
I'm
there.
a pushover. And like I said, they're and they're not bad. They just need to shut up and sit down. But like throwing stuff, it's a safety violation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, y'all, I've told you guys, there's 5 cameras rolling at all times. I said it is now 3:29. I said, and whoever threw that fruit, I said, you're in for it. And then that was it. And I just took off driving. They're all, and there's some laughing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote it up when I didn't that afternoon. I wrote it up the next morning because I was ready to get the hell out of there. Thursday morning, I wrote it up, all the details. You write it, what's called an incident report, right? For anything that happens on the bus, no matter what, even if you just want to keep a paper log, which is what I should have been doing for this one particular boy. Anyways, I turned it in. And then today, this afternoon, when I was at his school, the superintendent came out to my bus and handed me a sheet of paper and said, here, this is for you. And I was like, he's like, have a good weekend. I'm like, oh, thanks. And I look at it and I read it and it was just telling me that he's kicked off my bus until Wednesday. So he can't ride for 2.5 days or whatever, which honestly, I think he should be kicked off for at least a week. But that's the way it is these days. And I'm amazed that they even kicked him off because these kids have to do, you cannot, in this system, you cannot get kids off your bus. Like they will not kick them off the bus. I don't even know what they would have to do in order for that to happen. Like it's crazy. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, my kids are fine. Like I said, I have 2 boys that are just a little, that's it. And yes, he threw a grape at the windshield, Other people have kids that fight on the bus and all kinds of,
Yeah, I didn't like.
But anyways, and different districts are different districts. But this is again, where I am in Michigan, and it's a wealthy area, and for Michigan for sure, but just in general, and there's too much money here, and it's just not going to happen.
I agree, Ellen. He should have been
write apology, and he was sorry for causing a safety. Yeah, that's never going to happen. That's very sweet, and I understand, Ellen, but that kind of stuff that's way, way, way outdated.
Back in
that's
the
like
day
our
when we
time.
were raised, that's how we would have been told.
They don't.
You write an apology letter to them right now.
And his mom is always at the bus stop, which is hilarious because he's a 6th grader. His mom is always at the bus stop with him, and she walks him because it's down and it's hilarious because she's always hugging him and tells him goodbye and all that stuff. He's a 6th grader, and I'm so curious. Did she even is she upset at me, or is she upset with him?
You reported my boy for something.
But I didn't even have to do anything. I'm like 3:29. Check the cameras. Child threw a piece of fruit at the windshield. Safety hazard. That's all I had to write. So,
Lindsay says, I live in a school bus. Brings me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, wow. That's very cool, Lindsay.
Yeah,
so
that's
one of those
awesome.
refurbished.
A conversion bus. There's one in my, actually it's technically part of my neighborhood, but it's adjacent the other side of the main road that I live off of. And they did a whole rebuild on a school bus, and it's gorgeous.
And Blue Heron says, I used to drive a school bus. Bless you. It's a ridiculous. Yeah.
Thank you.
Too much stress for me, responsible for the little ones. I had to drive a pet transport to and from adoption functions. And I was nervous with all those puppies, or a couple kids that I would take. And I'm like, oh, please, just those poor, fur babies. I can't imagine actually having the stress of them being human kids. Yeah, no.
Well, you don't want to drive if you feel that way.
Well, with those fur babies, with my fur babies, I mean, I did okay. I was a very good driver, but just,
I'll say this much.
Dogs can't throw grapes. No.
School bus is the safest way to travel. School bus is incredibly safe.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It weighs like, don't quote me, I want to say it's 40 ton. The seats are very tall, incredibly padded. There's been an incredible amount of research done on like crash tests and this and that and whatever. It's yeah, I mean, yeah, much safer than a car. Way safer than a car.
My fur babies are better than human kids. You know, Blue Heron, sometimes though my fur babies are almost like having kids because Mazi, leave Ziva alone. Ziva, leave Mazi alone. You two, stop fighting. No, you go lay down. I mean, sometimes having the fur babies, talking to them, like kids. But yeah, these days I told somebody, I met a guy at Walmart this week. He rescued, he had a service dog with him, and this was this beautiful pitty. He was, I think he said about 16 years old. His name was Scrappy, and he loved his butt scratched. And I said, "Oh, can I say hi to your pitty?" And he's like, "Sure." And we're talking about the dogs and everything, and the poor pits and whatnot and everything. And I'm scratching, and we're talking about people. And I told him, nowadays I prefer more the company of animals than I do people. And he goes. So, but Ellen says it must be challenging to be around adolescent kids. At least.
You know what's funny, Ellen? High school is a breeze. Nothing. I've driven several now different routes, and I've talked to many, many drivers. Middle school. So you're saying adolescent, middle school. That's the challenge, is the middle school. By the time they get to high school, especially now, like back when I was a kid, it probably was more so the high school. But now, like high school, they don't say shit. They're not talking. They're all on their phones. In the morning, a lot of them sleep on the bus. Nobody says a damn word in the morning. I'm not kidding. It's silence in the morning on the bus. There's not a damn word. It's actually really nice the way I like it. And I had a special needs route last year. I only had, I think, 8 kids on board, and none of them spoke. And so it was very quiet. I loved it. But the high school kids, very quiet, nothing. And you'll have like 50, let's say you got 50 kids assigned to your route. Anybody that's a senior, you'll never even see them because they're either driving or riding with a friend. And juniors, plus again, the area where I live, these kids have cars. Juniors and seniors, because the parents have money. So it's not like when I was a kid, like somebody's got a car, or a kid has a car, or they managed to figure out a way to have something to drive. They all have cars, nice cars.
Miss Charity says, I love quiet
buses. We have Miss Charity, hi. We have I think we have 8 electric buses in our fleet. They are quiet. Nobody wants to drive them though. Just because they're kind of weird, and it'll of course, I don't know. I don't even know if we're going to end up going electric, you guys. I think everything's going to kind of, but that's a whole nother subject. But anyways, the high school kids on the public bus all smell
same here.
The
parents, the kids, people driving.
I smell pot. And I don't have a problem with pot. I don't. I smoked pot for years. I've got no problem with pot at all.
Hey, Morg.
But I freaking hate it when I have to walk through it or smell it. Again, I get drug tested regularly. That's part of it. Plus, like when I smoked, I never smoked in my house, ever. I shouldn't say that. On the occasion that I smoked, it was in the bathroom with the fan on. And admittedly, I'm a little over the top with not wanting. I like my house to smell like nothing. Can't stand like people that do like the fragrances and the thises and the thatses. I mean, if I burn a candle, that's one thing, or if I burn an incense, but like purposely, like I just like my house to not smell like anything.
Yeah, and it makes me sick too. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And I don't mind smelling it outside.
My apartment. It's
especially if it's really nice pot. I don't mind the smell of it. In fact, I kind of like it, like fresh pot. I like the smell of it. Burning
Hi,
it,
Karen.
it just depends on the quality and what it is and all of that. But I don't want my house, and it's such a heavy, sooty, dirty, resiny smoke.
Skunky
It's just
smell. It's
gross.
skunky.
And it'll
Yeah.
hang out, and then somebody comes
Oh, Miss
over and then they
Carradine.
just know. Not that I necessarily was trying to hide it, but it's to me, it's not something to advertise. I'm not 16 trying to be cool. I don't want
Mm.
my home to smell like weed. I, no judgment
Yeah.
for anybody that smokes in their house and they don't mind it. That's just me. I'm not down with that.
I went to the I went to a public Niagara Falls park. The Niagara, Niagara Falls Gorge Park this past weekend with a friend, and it was so embarrassing, and I hate it because she knows I don't like the smell of it. But we were on the trail, full of people, and just because it's allowed now to be able to smoke it recreationally, she just lit right up on the trail, and start smoking, right there. And I'm just like, really, you have to do that here? But I just bit my tongue. I kept my distance. I said to her, I go, that really smells. And she stopped. But it's just everywhere you go, especially here where I drive, or even in my apartment, if I have a window open to get some fresh air in here because of the stale stuff and smoke that comes up from other people's apartment in here, I open my window, but then they open their windows or they sit outside and it comes in my window, or while you're driving, you have to roll your windows up because that's all you can smell in there. I really wish they didn't legalize it,
So,
but it is what it is.
yeah, for me, so to me, and don't get me wrong, I don't like smelling it outside, but if somebody's smoking it outside, I realize they can totally smoke outside. So, you can walk over there or whatever. However, doesn't mean I like it because I don't like it either. And I like it even less now that I'm drug tested. It's like I can't have that crap in my lungs. I just can't. So, but I shouldn't say crap. Again, it's just it's not what I mean. It's just I just can't have it. And I abstain. Even if I quit well before I was drug tested for this job. But I don't
Mhm.
like it if
Get
I
Miss
go
Carradine.
outside of my home and I'm walking around on the property and somebody is either in their place or outside and it's coming my direction. But what can I do about it, right? But like Miss Tarot D is like saying, like being on the bus and you can smell it on
Yeah,
people. To
and
me, that's offensive because you're trapped on just like somebody with
mhm.
their, and I'm sorry, and this might be triggering for somebody, and if it is, I'm sorry, but people wearing their stinky cologne, perfume and cologne, I cannot stand it. It's like,
Or the
why should I
cigars.
have to smell your excellent quality or all the way down to crap perfume or cologne that you decided to put way too much on? And a lot of people do that. I mean, some people it's kind of subtle. That's fine. Maybe, and if you have to sit close to them or whatever, but I'm talking, you know what I'm talking about. The person
Hmm.
that just, I've
Axe.
got a couple girls that get on my bus in the morning and they're wearing that Bath and Body Works $5, whatever the hell spray, $20. I don't know what it costs. Don't care. Smelling like a bubblegum machine or a
Hmm.
peach or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And I'm very high sensory, right? Like I have a nose like a
Hi,
dog
Carolyn.
and
Happy
I smell
Peter.
everything. And so that's part of it too. Admittedly, I have when I was pregnant, it was insane. Um, so yeah, I'm just very triggered by smells in general.
Mm.
So yeah,
It all has to do with respect. Like
it
Miss
does.
Carradine was
Thank you. And I
saying.
was going to say that too.
Yeah,
It's like for
be
me,
respectful.
it's just about doing the right thing. Just yeah. Admittedly, I'm outspoken, but like
Yeah, I just agrees with
I'm
you.
not going to do that. Yeah, I just yeah, what she said, the
Yeah.
people that bathe in there, I know it's so gross. And you know what? And not to take up for these people, but at least some percentage of the people that do that could be like my mom rest her soul. My mom was a smoker, cigarettes, ick, and she had a terrible sense of smell as a result of somehow, because she smoked. And she didn't, I'm not saying she wore a ton of perfume. She did wear perfume. She actually wore a really nice cologne. But that's a whole nother subject. And when I smell her cologne, I think of my mom, and I'm all good with it, right? So scents, and that's another thing. Scents are very take you to a moment, take you to a time, has an emotion connection, that kind of thing. But like my mom, like, people that were like her, let me reel it back, Allyson, come back to what you were talking about, is that, they don't smell it. Some people don't realize how drenched they are in what they have on. Thank God my mom knew a squirt, right? Like she'd go squirt, squirt, and she would walk through it, right? So it would be on her clothes, it would be on her neck, and you could always, my mom always smelled so good. She was a smoker. There was that, but yeah. It's disgusting. I'm so sorry.
And it's so funny how we got down.
Y'all, it's so disgusting. Cigarette smoke is just ass. It's the worst. It's so gross. It's horrid.
Oh, welcome to Friday
And if you're
night,
offended, I'm sorry, but not really, because it's really gross.
Yeah, like you're in a gas chamber.
And it's sick, and it's unhealthy for everybody around it as well. So
wow, Miss Terrell D said my building management had to send out a notice to tenants because some tenants use certain spices that were seeping into the hallways and advise them to open windows because some people would be, has sensitivity. So yeah.
I'd rather smell pot than cigarettes though any day of the week. Any day of the week.
I'm the opposite.
No, F that. Cigarettes are just makes you want to just throw up in my mouth.
To me, they're both.
I mean, I don't want to smell either one, but I don't, like I said, I don't mind smelling pot. I just can't breathe it in, and I don't want to smell it unless, it's just, but no cigarettes. Ugh, no.
Yeah.
No.
And hello,
pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice. Yes. Hello, my friend. How are you?
I just put pumpkin spice in my coffee, which is not carnivore, but I will put a little bit in there. It's so good.
Yeah, Isadora, where everybody knows where I live, the building, just everything's so terribly.
That's so gross. I'm so sorry, Isadora.
It comes into my apartment along with the cigarette, and if I go to close my bedroom door, like I did yesterday to keep my cats out, when I opened the door, it was like walking into a stale cigarette and smoke in the room, and I was just like, oh my God, rushing to my window, opening the window up, and it was just. So, for everybody.
So, Isadora, that's your landlady?
Yeah.
That's rough. I would be out of there. Yeah.
So, for folks coming in, Allyson and I had opened up the show saying that we were going to be pulling cards on if anybody had dreams or paranormal experiences they wanted to share and have us pull cards on. I did get some requests. And then we went to Allyson telling us about the week with the kids, and then we went to weed, and you never know on a Friday night where we're going to go.
Oh, that's all right. I got to grab my tray.
Yep, we get animals, yeah. And vaping. Actually, there is a channel on YouTube called The Lore Lodge. I love these guys. And they look into and heavily research cases of missing 411 and other cases. They're very well, but they're also very like easygoing. They're fun to watch. And Aiden's got this really cute, service dog. Can't remember the name of her, but that likes to make appearances. But one of their sponsors, because they were breaking the habit of smoking and then vaping, because vaping's just as bad. There's something called Fume that's out, and what it is that it's a piece of wood, and you get like a scented or something that's like a naturally flavored like little stick that you put in there, and when you breathe it in like you do a vape, you're just bringing in air. You're not bringing in smoke, you're not bringing in moisture, you're just tasting the flavor that's on the stick. and they said it's really good for helping people break that habit of having to pick up and inhale and all this other stuff. So that was pretty cool. Neat little device. So vaping actually got me away from cigarettes. The only problem is how expensive it is. Yeah, and they're finding that it's not good for your lungs either.
Of course
Um,
not.
and hello, Audra. Welcome, welcome. So cigarette and $20 a pack. Yeah, I believe it, Miss Tarot D. So we had some people sharing stuff. And Shelby will start. Shelby, you were throwing out a lot of stuff, so I'm just looking at here. I'm just going to read through this and see what you share because we may pick one of these. But Shelby was sharing some of her experiences, and I have three of them highlighted. And the first one is I have these dreams all the time. I call them Wonderland dreams, and they would be in places where I live, which I lived my entire life. And I would like to know why am I having these dreams? So we'll look at
I
that,
have these dreams
Shelby.
all the time. So she'd have dreams about like the town she lives in?
I believe so. Because then, Shelby, you were throwing all this other stuff in there, sweetie. So we're just going to focus on that because she was sharing. They're
I didn't
weird,
light a
but they're
candle.
fun.
Hold on.
And I had a dream where I went to my hometown cemetery, but it was also other cemeteries, including Salem. So we'll just look at cards to see. Here, let me just unstar a couple of these. She said that they would be fun, kind of like going down a rabbit hole into Wonderland. So that's where she got the the metaphor. Towns, other places, things, but also let's see, towns, other places, other things happening, places. So Shelby, don't quite type in grammatic, and
My
sometimes
pine
it's hard to
candle
follow.
died.
Your what?
My
Your
big
can?
candle is dying. I gotta go get a new one.
Okay. So, what we will do, Allyson already took a look at the first one. And I think, it's just you're having dreams about them because it's places that you have been. I dream about places that I used to. It's to me, it's natural. Um, was there any one specific one? Um, and try putting it concise and understandable, my dear. Legible in the chat. Um, so
Time for
I
cinnamon.
cinnamon. So I asked Shelby if
Cinnamon
she could.
apple.
Oh, I love apple. Um, yeah, that was one of the popular scents when I worked at a candle store when I was younger. So I I I read this and I was telling Shelby that a lot of times we dream about places like this because that's where we grew up. They're a part of our subconscious. Sometimes our mind or brain likes to go back there and to revisit. I asked her if there was something a little bit more concise, something maybe one specific dream of a specific place. Um, but we'll see what she puts in. And I don't know if you heard, but Carolyn is here. Nancy, I mean not Nancy. Carol is here. Allyson. So 2 days this week, I have dreamt of three planes in trouble. Ooh, I'm going to star that in case you want us to read on that. Good to see you, Audra. So, okay, I am just going to go ahead and pull cards for. Did you get something?
I did, and I think the reason Moon Fox is it's just this is what you feel the most connected to. There's a connection to it. It feels oh, hold on one second. Hold on.
She added,
Actually,
I think sometimes it's
no,
astral
there's more.
projection.
I
Like
think
I'm
sometimes it's astral projection, like in a spiritual plan.
or plane.
Because at my wait, I could start at my house because it's always happens there. Well, your house represents you more than likely. Also, I think it's possible that, you know, you might have had a past life there, if not more than one. You might have had, yeah, I think you've got a connection to the land there. And it's helping you clear some energy. Ten of Swords. Yeah. Yeah, it is emotional in nature, whatever it was that you went through. I'm curious what kind of dreams they are.
She says they're like Wonderland. It's like going down a rabbit hole, and she keeps having all of them. I've got a couple interesting cards, but I want to pull because I got the Knight of Swords for one of these, but
so
I wanted
that's
to
all
see
symbolism, right? When you have those kinds of dreams, which they usually are anyways, dreams, but the weirder it is, the more it's like, and you can, if you want, you can do, I'm not real big on this, but what the hell do I know? So like there's a lot of people that have written books on dream interpretation. Either they wrote the book or they worked with somebody who does this sort of thing, and then they wrote the book about it. But I think you're the best person to interpret your own dreams. That's just my own belief. But like the comment that I just made about the house, and that does make sense. There are some things that I feel like probably are true. Like if you dream about a house a lot, or even if it's not a lot, when you dream about a house, usually you're the house, right? Or you're the car, right? And depending on what's going on within that, you know, there can be lots of other things, but like usually the house or the vehicle is symbolic of you. Usually, according to these experts, right? So anyways, but like any symbolism, and you know, just for fun, obviously, and this isn't what you were asking, you could write down the dream and then just kind of see, you know, what could that loosely represent, or what could that be about, or like you write out a whole situation. Like I'll say this and then I'll shut up. My partner, when he was going through his divorce, he would have dreams about being in a car, and all these weird things would be happening in the car. He was the car, right? Now, there were times where he was in the car. Sometimes his ex-wife was in the car with him. And like what she was doing in the car or not, or whatever, was so interesting because it was very descriptive of what was going on and how he was processing and dealing with what was going on. So, yeah. It's very interesting. So
she added, it's really hard to describe in details the places, but there will also be a lot of symbols, which is recently lots of graveyards and dead things.
Okay, so graveyards are about old things, letting things go, things that need to be released. And I'm going to say something here. I hear people saying all the time about letting things go that no longer serve you. What about stuff that's never served you? There's a lot of stuff that a lot of people hold on to, stuff they never should have been involved with in the first place. Let that go.
Let that shit
that
go.
Just doesn't get any attention. I just wanted to you know me, run down the long winding road that's not attached. But yeah, symbolize, which is recently lots of graveyards and dead things. Are there any people showing up, or spirits, or is it just like graveyards and dead things? What are dead things? Dead animals? What are things? I'm just curious.
So Shelby, I got the underlying energy is the Hermit. So I think right now with the Hermit, you're going through a lot of introspection, a lot of self-reflection. Just really take time to sit down, maybe try to write what you can remember, and just sit with the feelings from the dreams. Because a lot of times I can't remember full dreams, and there's just snippets. and I go by the emotions that I might feel. I did get the Ace of Pentacles, and this is about manifesting on the material. So it's, I think a lot of what is going on in the world, your subconscious is trying to process it. Possibly these memories of where you grew up are things that bring you happiness, that bring you comfort, and they're coming through. I did get the World card, and I do think that some of these places you may very well be astrally projecting to, because the world, things coming fruition, full circle, traveling. I got both the Knight of Swords, which for me feels also very like the thoughts are coming through, subconscious is coming through. Your dreams are trying to communicate with you. Sometimes these dreams are coming fast. I know you said they're like a rabbit hole for you. And then I got the Chariot. So yes, you're moving through your dreams. They do believe it's a lot of it, not a lot of it, some of it is astral, but you are moving through what's going on in the waking world. You're moving through the memories or your subconscious is, and just start writing down like the symbols, like with graveyards and death. A lot of that has to do, with rebirth or burying things, or bury things that need to be, like I think Allyson, you just were saying, things that are buried that you might have to face or maybe to deal with, and you need to look at. And again, death, transformation, rebirth, and with this time of year as well, this could very well be like spirit guides coming through, trying to reach you through this communication. And those were the initial cards that I pulled for you on that. And I'm going to jump down and see. Oh, Tom is here. Hey, Tom. Happy early birthday, my friend. Tom's birthday is on Sunday.
Nice.
Lindsay says, well, interesting. I just felt something release within me. I no longer need some things I'm holding on to. I feel lighter. Well, that's beautiful.
Sure is.
And yeah, Ange and Karen, I got your comment too about the electricity and stuff. Strange shaped pasta. Well,
Strange shape pasta.
That's interesting. I'm going to add, I don't know,
Tim. In a dream?
I think so. For symbolism. I'll put you on the list, Tim. That's interesting.
I need a little bit more context than just pasta. It's like, well.
Oh no, Tom got rear-ended on the way home. Oh no.
Oh, appointment was fine. Coming home, I got rear-ended.
Oh my God.
I am fine. It was nothing. Is your car okay? I'm glad you're okay, honey.
Car is fine.
Car is fine.
It was a slight bump.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that happen several times.
And we started the show with Allyson talking about her, who was, I'm sorry, Allyson, somebody in your family, an ex that was in a car accident. They're okay?
My sister's husband.
Okay. So strange food ingredients. I don't, yeah, maybe, Tom. So I'm going to jump to another person, and let me see, because both Karen and Ange have been having some interesting things going on. So Ange, there may have been some paranormal stuff happening on the live today with me and Karen. My electricity and internet kept flashing on and off, and just as it did, a card that reminds Karen of her grandfather came out. I remember that. Yep. They think that
okay. So it's October.
For Grandpa.
Right? Mm-hmm. Birthday, death anniversary, wedding anniversary, all of that stuff. But whoever comes to mind, usually, I mean, honestly, not to be, it probably was.
And she continued, turns out she was just doing some mediumship work before our live, wondering if that was related. It was kind of cool, minus the lack of the internet. So
electrical interruption, yes. Yep. Is not to get free readings, but is Carolyn still here? There may have been some paranormal stuff happening.
Yeah, so do we want to pull cards, or do we think that's just nope?
I don't.
Okay.
Yes, no brainer. Especially if she's been doing stuff just prior. It's like, yeah, it's confirmation.
Now Ellen R had a something that she wanted to share too. About 15 years, I guess, ago, I semi woke up to a man smiling at the end of the bed. I was scared and froze. I went back to sleep. Who was he? Was he an apparition?
Ellen R., about 15 years ago, I semi woke up to a man smiling at the end of the bed. You didn't recognize him, huh? I was scared and froze. I went back to sleep. You know what I think? Hold on, I'm going to get that deck that I made. Ellen R. Oh, whoops. I thought I was muted.
She continued with, I didn't recognize him at all. I gave it lots of thought later and wondered whether he looked like he could have been related to my mother. Yeah, yep. That was wondering where the Queen of Swords was coming from. I'm asking for a clarifier, Ellen, on the Queen of Swords. Let's see. That's okay. Well, I can't get like a man's name. I'm not getting any male cards, but Ellen, I don't know if you were maybe going through something at the time. Because I did get the Five of Cups. There seemed to be a lot of sadness, depression, um, just a lot of heavy emotions. Um, Something that you were really going through. Because the next I got was the Ten of Wands. Just a lot of heavy burdens were on you at the time. You were struggling. I don't know if this card might have referred to maybe drinking, because for us a lot of times, whether we to soothe that depression or that sadness or the anxiety, or that emptiness and loneliness. Sometimes for some of us it's drink. Sometimes, like for me, I have comfort food I go to. Sometimes it's buying stuff, that kind of thing. But I got the Queen of Swords, and when you said you think it might have been your mother's, could be related to your mother. I'm getting the Queen of Swords. Now I don't know, Ellen, if mom was a woman who was. Some people refer to the Queen of Swords as kind of cold, kind of unfeeling. All queens are still nurturing, but they have a more of an analytical, practical look at view of things. They tap into more of the analytical. They can't come off, maybe kind of frigid or cold sometimes, but sometimes, but there's still that nurturing energy to it. So I wanted to pull some cards again on the Queen of Swords to find out more about him. And I did get the Six of Swords. So I feel like this is somebody who is crossed, well, they were spirit, but connected with her, that was crossing over to communicate with you. And I also got the Star card. So I'm feeling like the stars, the intuition, the hopes, the dreams. I think they were coming. He was coming across to you from her side to be able to give you some hope, give you some comfort. Um, Now the overall energy I got was the Lovers card. So this male, he may have been, I don't know if you didn't recognize him. So, but if it's on your mother's side, I don't know if this somebody that was maybe mom's dad, or maybe this was like a grandpa, like a grandpa. But there is this very close relationship. I do feel it's family, or a very distant family, not, because you couldn't recognize them. So it may have not been somebody within the last couple of generations. I do want to, oh, okay. What just flew out? I got the Two of Swords. I don't know if there was some decision that you were having to make at that time, feeling blindfolded, like trusting your intuition, having to make a decision. There's that duality again, like the Lover's card. And I did get the Magician, and the Magician shows up as a male, and this is about um, manifesting, um, creating, as above, so below. Um, and then these two came out, male and female, when I was talking about the Lover's card. So, and there's the woman again with the sword. So I'm thinking that it could be your mother's side. Um, oh, actually, this isn't the Magician card. I'm not used to using this deck. This is the two. So you got twos that just jumped out. Balancing act, juggling act. Trying to balance, trying to make things work. And with the top hat, look at the time period too. This may be several generations back. Ellen, I don't know if you were trying to maybe make a decision back then, trying to balance finances, spirituality, trying to balance your security, trying to make decisions. It just seems to be like there was a lot on your plate at this time when he appeared to you. And I do feel it was somebody, like you were mentioning, maybe on your mother's side. They could very well be a spirit guide for you. I'm just going to stop right now. I want to see what Allyson gets. I'm going to look at the chat. I may even pull from another deck. I usually don't use that deck. And hey, Jay, what's going on, girl? So let's see.
Okay. I don't really know what to think of this. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, 3 different decks. I got the 7 of Swords. That's just weird. I'm not done here. I'm going to pull more because I'm kind of like, don't even know why the hell 7 of Swords is even coming out for this. It's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. I did get the first thing that came out, though, was the 7 of Pentacles. So, and the funny thing is, and I'm trying to not just be, all right, let me back up. We were on this show, I think 2 weeks ago, and Carolyn was here too. And somebody got a reading for something. And as soon as the person was asking it, I was feeling like what they were asking about had something to do with somebody on the land. I felt this immediately about this. Doesn't mean it's not a relative. I don't know if you have an attachment to where you live, or it could even be, sometimes we end up in the same place. We just don't even know. It could be generations before or whatever, same area. But look what this guy's doing. He's tilling the land, right? And he's got the pentacles. And I'm not, you guys that know me know, I'm not really about the symbolism on the card ever. I read very rider waite, no matter what deck I'm pulling from. But once in a while, the imagery will leap out at me. And it really is because it confirmed what I was already thinking. And again, it's a 7. Got a lot of 7s going on here for me. The way I read, 7 is spirituality. It's a spiritual number. It's a very powerful number. I love 7s, but I got the 7 of Swords from this deck. I got the 7 of Quills, which is the 7 of Swords in my Poe deck. Where did it go? I must have put it back. And then in my, in my zombie deck, I also got the 8 of Swords. And again, I was asking about who is this guy? What's going on? And I got the Knight of Swords. And I got the King of Swords. So, but I did get the 3 of Cups. And that felt very, and again, I didn't do a spread here, right? Because I was just pulling because I wasn't really being led in any direction. And I used my deck that I created, went through it several times. Nothing came out that really meant anything to me. So, and I don't normally read like that. It feels very, so what I'm going to make of all this, because this just got dropped on me, is that, and I don't know if this is somebody you're related to or not, It was definitely a friendly visit. It was definitely just kind of like, oh, you can see me. Like, it was feels light, feels good. I think this person though carries a burden, which is probably why you could even see him in the first place. Doesn't mean it's a ghost or an earthbound, but it could be. Especially the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, for those of you that don't know, I mean, it can be a lot of different things. All the tarot cards can be, but given the nature of this question and the cards that came out and all of that and what we're reading on, I would say it's somebody that's carrying some sort of burden of some sort, like maybe something that most likely something that they did. And Eight of Swords, very much in their head about it, whether they're spirit or not.
Ooh.
Wanting some hope and healing with the Star. I
get the Star.
But who is it? I don't know. I don't know who it is, but it feels very light and not a big deal. And obviously, or not maybe obviously, the fact that you just then went back to sleep, I don't think you felt anything. And honestly, when spirits do show themselves to us, I'm going to go ahead and go out here and say that it's almost always going to be of the light. It's not. Does bad stuff happen? Yes. Heather experienced some bad stuff as a child. I mean, yes, it happens. And I've met other people that have experienced it too. But by and large, if you're seeing it, it's because you can tap into it and you can see on the other side. And I think that it's usually, a good thing. But I don't know who this is, but it feels
I got to share this with you. I'm like going. So Carolyn goes, is it a family member named James? She was asking Ellen. And then Ellen just said, my mother's father's name was James. He died when my mother was a child, and I never saw a photo of him.
And I just got goosebumps. That would totally make sense. I mean,
and what age was he showing? Because Ellen, I pulled from my my Poland my Poland Normand, and there's a older gentleman card that I want to see the cards around for him. And then there's a younger one, which is Poe.
Find out what his birthday is and tell us next week if you can, because I got the King of Swords and I got the Knight of Swords. But this King of Swords, look how young he looks. He does not look old at all. I wonder if it's a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Doesn't have to be, or if that was his personality.
Okay, because I got some interesting cards too from. Let me see where Poe is in here, because
thanks, Carolyn.
So child, woman, child. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alrighty. Yes, Ellen. So, alrighty. So I looked for where the older gentleman was, because I was told to look for him and to look for where Poe was in the deck. So, like I was saying in the beginning, and you, I know you validate for that, you're going through a rough time. I did get the Fox, which is about deception, kind of trickery, trickster things at that time in your life was causing some confusion. I did get the Snake card, which again, kind of watching this, the snake in the grass sort of deal. And then I also got the Heart. Something was not quite right going on. I mean, you were brokenhearted. I saw the card, from the other deck with the Five of Cups. I did get the Funerary. I got the Coffin, which is about death and rebirth. At that point, with him being there, he was, I think, to bring you some comfort. And I also got the Star card from my Lenormand deck. So again, coming through dreams, trying to help you refocus, rebirth yourself, renew your interest in life, continue on with your goals, on with your dreams. And then when I looked for Poe, I got Messenger. There's the woman. There you are as, the child. I mean, you were he died when you were too young to see his picture, but there you are as the child. There's Poe for his age. And then I got the dog, which is about loyalty, companionship, somebody you can trust. So I think he showed up during a time to kind of let you know that he was looking out for you during this time of difficulty. and that and I hope that you seeing him. I know he kind of froze and got scared and fell back to sleep, but I hope that that ended up bringing some comfort to you at that point, in your
Did
life.
she
So
say she was scared? I don't remember
what
her saying she was scared.
I thought she did. Let me look.
As she said, he appeared at the foot of her bed.
I was scared and froze. So
I
and I
was
went back to
scared and
sleep.
froze. Okay. I went back to sleep. Interesting. And another thing too, and again, I hope I don't, it's interpretation. That also could be this person being invested in you. That Seven of Pentacles. I would be very curious. Thanks, Carolyn. I would be very curious if you could find out his birthday and why he died. What is the Seven of Swords? I would he lived in rural Ireland. He lived in rural Ireland. I was sleeping in an apartment in
harvesting.
Okay.
And you had the
I wonder what he did. I would love to know what he did for money and why did he die? What was his why did he die? Which will be on his, it's so cool, y'all. And I don't know, any of you, of course, he's in another country. I have seen some that are out of country. Death certificates for a long time have said the cause of death on them.
Yeah.
Very
I was scared. Yeah, I get you, girl. I was kind of scared when I saw my Aunt Carla at the end of my bed 2 weeks after she passed away. And I remember closing my eyes and going, Aunt Carla, and then running to my mom and dad saying, Aunt Carla was here. So, all righty. Well, Ellen, let us know. Keep us updated.
Yes, and Ellen, get his birthday, which you can totally get. You can absolutely get that. If it's her grandfather, I mean, Ellen, I'm guessing, I don't know how old you are, but I'm sure you're our age or whatever, up to 70, 75, whatever. And your grandfather, welcome, that information is available.
So
you're welcome.
Yes, she said thank you. So Debbie, I'm used to the different ringing in my ears. However, the other day I heard a strange clicking in my right ear. What was that?
I'm used to the different ringing in my ears. However, the other day I heard a strange clicking noise. It wasn't a popping and it was only in one ear and not the other. I think that's your inner ear.
So funny. Everyone's still having the drinking and pot conversation in the chat. Debbie is feeling here clicking in her right ear.
I think you've given this some thought. Maybe it was just at the time that it happened, and there's something that you suspect that that's what it is, and that is what it is. Does that mean anything to you? Like it might have just floated through your mind when you were thinking about it? Is it a noise that you recognize? Like from another time or something like that? Maybe it wasn't actually the inner ear.
Interesting. So yes, you do know on some level. I think you do know because I did get High Priestess just came out. So
yeah,
Debbie?
Judgment.
I got Judgment too. That was my first card. So, Debbie, I think this is because judgment is also about spiritual
Decision.
awakening and ascensioning and connecting. So, but I did get the Knight of Wands. So, I think whoever you think that I think you know who this might be, and is this person has a Knight of Wands energy. The Knights are all very much about holding the torch for people, being very passionate, having a lot of energy, motivation, kind of like a trailblazer, so to speak. And I love in this deck because it's a dragon. So I'm wondering if this person, if you have an idea who it is, has maybe dragon like energy. This is what I love about this deck is that the knights are dragons. And so there's that very otherworldly, very protective, but at the same time embodying the aspects of the suit of the wands. You know, that was very creative, being passionate, being inspired. And when I asked for a clarifier for it, I got the high priestess. So it's saying that I think on some level you do know who it is. And this person, I don't know if you were going through something that was heartbreaking for you at that time. I don't know if you were feeling, yeah, if there was some form of sadness or heartbreak or grieving that you were going on when you experienced this, or if this could have been the person that you might know that this represents coming through. Because I did get the Three of Swords. There was like a lot of heartbreak, a lot of sadness associated with this individual and or yourself, something between this. Just real a lot of heartbreak. But the overall energy is the Ten of Cups. So it's that beautiful feeling of coming full circle, that emotional, happy family. So I feel like, okay, and with it being Samhain, so Debbie, let me know if, and you know, with the name Three Shifting Veils, the veils are thinning. Debbie, I'm thinking, you know, this it's a person on the other side. You know who this is, or you have an inkling if you know who this is. That very Knight of Wands energy. They went through some sort of heartbreak, or you went through heartbreak at their passing, but this was somebody who was with family, something that was somebody that was very loving, nothing to be afraid of. I don't think you said that the clicking sound scared you or this energy scared you, but maybe tapping in now that the veils are thinning a little bit more, and maybe okay, automatic writing just jumped into my head. So I don't know if you want to do something that's automatic writing. Let me pull another card from this deck. Um, I don't know if I need to though. I'm waiting to see Debbie unless I missed a comment. Um, so let me just ask: is this a person? So that Three of Swords. Um, Four of Pentacles. Okay. This might have been to somebody that like to hold things to themselves, hold their feelings to their chest, holding, you know, I don't know necessarily hoarding money, not necessarily with pentacles, but maybe hoarding their emotions, hoarding finances, or just holding on to something. And again, pentacles can be spiritual as well. Um, that's interesting that the Four of Pentacles, because sometimes it doesn't represent hoarding. Sometimes it's holding on to what you remember, holding on to that spirituality, holding on to what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel secure. Um, Whoa, Tom, Jesus. Oh, okay. So I don't know if any of this resonates with you, Debbie. I'm going to look into chat. I think, I lost Allyson. So um, I'll bring her back when she comes back. Debbie, does any of that make sense to me? Because I'm trying to. We were belly dancers at Busch Gardens. Well, the dancing, I can see the fiery, the passion. Sometimes you use fire, poi, with dancing. Um, but let me look up here and see if I missed something, Debbie. Because y'all know I can't look at the chat because I get too distracted. Um, yeah, isn't it, Tim? I like it when Allyson and I get similar cards. Um, talking about the body, Christina. Okay, I see that, Christina. I'm looking. I'll star that. Early ritual wrong with Tom the other night when he was voice. It was hysterical. Okay, okay. So there's the clicking. I felt like someone was trying to contact me. It was only once. Okay. Um, I just had a flash of finger symbols. It was my best friend. She flashed by me the other day. Thank you, y'all. Okay. I'll keep that up there so Allison can see it when she comes back. She uses her phone service, so boy, thank you everybody. We've been having around 16 people in chat hanging out with us. Very interesting conversations. And again, Jesus Christ, I've been behind in the live and didn't notice. No wonder nothing was making sense. Oh, yeah, Tom, with this chat, from us doing our Saturday nights with Jeff and stuff, you never know when, 1 minute to the next, what's going to be. Ooh la la, love it. Not an unusual thing today, Heather. Yeah. So hopefully we can get Allison back. Um, very, very interesting. Strange shade pasta. Well, Tim, I was just looking at your comment again. Maybe try to remember what the shapes were, draw them, and then ask spirit to guide you, show you in, whether in nature or just in waking life or in a dream. I know sometimes dreams are hard, but maybe guide you, give you some clarity. For me, whenever I see strange symbols or forms, I always go to Pinterest. There she is, and sometimes I can find things. She's back.
Sorry, you guys.
So we had something interesting. Um,
Oh, I wanted to say something about the cards that I had, though. Can I
mhm,
say that? Because
yeah.
I've been gone for a minute. Sorry, you guys.
Okay.
Who was that last one for? I can't remember the
It was
name.
Debbie. It was Debbie.
And what was it for?
Okay, so
Completely.
Debbie was hearing a clicking in her right
Oh,
ear.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. What I wanted to say is I didn't get a person, but it could be. All I got from my cards, I was just saying, from what I'm seeing here, it's suggesting that there's something that you either were suspecting that it was, or maybe at some point it just floated quickly through your mind. And it was
Mm-hmm.
just saying that's what it is,
Yep.
whatever that was. And then I also, actually, I'm not even going to go into that. I just had a flash of finger symbols. It was my best friend. She flashed. Oh, I love that.
She says they used to
Um,
do belly dancing for Busch Gardens.
and I did get actually, I'm not gonna, then that'll be a whole winding road. Yes, that very well could be. And if that's what makes sense to you, I would go with that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's wonderful. Because I love when I get the dragons. I'm like, ooh, dragon energy. That's and wands, creativity, passion, dancing, poi. Belly dancing. They can do. I would love to do some sort of poi in the future. Um, that would be so cool to learn how to do that. So next up, Carolyn, I believe you're still with us. 2 days this week, I have dreamt of 3 planes in trouble. Wow.
At the same time, like 3 planes in the air at the same time. Is that what you mean? Twice this week, I have dreamt of 3 planes
I
in
think so.
trouble. Oh, so maybe not. Okay, just in general, like three
Wow.
separate. Hmm.
I wonder what deck to use for that. Let's go to my ethereal. She says, I'm here. So let us know of any more information, Carolyn, from, the dream that might help us. I'm just looking to see if there's some other deck I have that might be better for this. Let's just see. Because, Carolyn, I know what those dreams are like. I have dreams on a regular basis, not every night, but at least several times a year, where I'll see a plane in the sky I go to look at it and I like, please don't crash. And next thing I know, it's crashing. And of course, nothing happens afterwards. But I have a lot of those dreams. That one dream, at least when I was younger, I actually did eventually see a crash that happened that looked just like it in my dream. So that's very interesting. I've been wanting to read on that Malaysia airliner that went down. But 2 days this week, I have dreamt of 3 planes in trouble.
So I'm wondering if maybe something happens that there was some sort of a choice that somebody had to make and some sort of a decision in some sort of way.
She said yes in the air at the same time.
Okay, and then there's going to be some sort of somebody's not really sure what to do, and then there's some sort of a conflict. Hold on, I'm still going.
Yeah, I'm looking at my cards here. And
and then the outcome is the 3 of Swords. This might be malicious. What do you think, Carolyn?
I got the Mage.
3 of Swords, 3 planes, 2.
Ooh.
Does this feel accidental or does this feel not accidental? Like, oh man, I just got the 3 of Pentacles.
Oh my God. I'm getting some weird cards.
Did somebody get paid? What is going on?
I'm going to grab a different deck because I'm getting...
I just stick with the same deck.
4 Cups. Yeah, I'm going to mute myself. And
why is this, oh my God. This is working together, 6 of Pentacles. And triumphing over the plan. During the election. Oh my God, I wasn't even thinking about the election. Hold on, what is this? Oh, wow. Let's see what else I can get. What is this about?
so I reshuffled King of Wands. And for me in this deck, that's somebody with a fiery temperament. Someone who's very passionate, very vocal, very goal driven. I got 2 of Pentacles. Something's being, to me, balanced. Someone's struggling, maybe how to do this, how to figure this out. I got the 6 of Pentacles, which is about money exchanging hands.
You
Charity.
said 3 of Pentacles?
I got 2.
Oh, I thought you said 3. Okay.
For me, it feels like it's someone struggling, like trying to And then I got this the Queen of Swords. I want to verify her on this Queen of Swords.
I got the Queen of Swords
and
I got the Queen of Pentacles. I got 2 queens.
Okay. And I also got the Two of Cups. And for me, this Two of Cups is about a relationship.
So did I.
Okay. I'm going to shuffle a little bit more. Who is this Queen of Swords? This is going to be, I'm just wondering if there's a woman that's going to be behind this. Can I have a clarifier for the Queen of Swords? She says, remember when the 3 planes were parked close to each other? I don't know what that means, Carolyn. I don't know which way. I'm thinking of the 3 planes during the election. Remember when the 3 planes were parked close to each other? I don't know, honey. Yeah, he is burning that car, but this is, that King of Wands. I got the 10 of Pentacles for the Queen of Swords clarifier. And so this is somebody with wealth. It has to do with home, one's village, one's kingdom. It's wealth. I'm going to pull out, wait a minute, where's Vixen's? Because this is a shadow work deck. I want to see what he says. Financial, inheritance, family. Okay. So this Queen of Swords. And the thing is, the Queen of Swords can be a male, but this is somebody very, very analytical, very cold, can be cold, very calculating, very practical, with money. 2 of Cups. Replays it. Okay. King of Pentacles. People with money.
What was the original thing that she said? The very first thing that she said about all this?
Okay. It was, here, let me pull it up.
Thank you.
So 2 days this week, I have dreamt of 3 planes in trouble. And she said, yes, at the same time in the air. She verified that a little bit later.
3 planes in trouble. Is that as...
I'm going to ask my lunatic mom.
So that's not a plane crash necessarily. That could be hijacked. That could be faulty engines. It could be, I mean, so many different things, right?
I also ended up getting the 10 of Pentacles, which is about wealth, money. It's for the Queen of Swords. And then I got a King of Pentacles as well to go with the Queen of Swords. And of money, finances, home, security, leadership. I'm going to ask my lunatic Norman. Days this week, I dreamt of 3 planes.
I don't know, but it doesn't feel good. And it feels calculated.
Mm-hmm. That Queen of Swords. Dog, fish, and bear. Suffering. Crossroads. That's interesting. I got dog, which is about loyalty, trustworthiness, but then I got fish, which is about money. And then I got the bear, which is about strength, maternal. So again, there's a female playing into this. I'm just wondering if the bear, because I know Russia is associated with the bear. I'm trying not to go there, but the minute I saw the bear, I automatically saw the word Russia in my head. Um, so whoever this is, the loyalty, the money, the bear, female or Russia. I got the suffering card. I got the cross about suffering, pain, and then there I got the crossroads. A decision's got to be made. The crossroads is usually three, so there could be where the three is coming from. Um, and then the sun card, which is about success. So whatever it is, I hope they're not.
I got the sun card too. But it was laid out with some other cards. I put everything away because I didn't like how any of it was feeling.
Homeland Security. Yeah, Lindsay, I was thinking about that. Interesting. That's why I'm saying this election is going to. I'm trying not to get into the energy of it, but if things don't go, if I think no matter how it plays out, there is going to be events happening that is going to make January 6th look like a day in the park. You know, it's going to look like a picnic. Compare if certain things don't
I
go
hope
right.
not.
I hope not either, sweetheart. That's why I don't watch the news. I try not to get dragged into it, but I just where I live and all the signs, and then you see some of the things on YouTube where people are. I mean, it's just some. It just yeah. It's that's why I don't do politics on my channel. I rather look at a murder mystery to help you know a victim or their family find closure or answers. Than going into the politics. And let's see, can we ask, does Homeland Security have suspicions related to them? Good question, Karen. Um, I know Allyson doesn't like the energy, but I'm just going to shuffle on that really quick. Can we ask, does Homeland Security have suspicions? Whoa. Okay. No, let's put that out too many. I love Vixen's deck, but the cards are so long and thin. It's hard for me to shuffle with my tiny hands. Homeland Security. Got the Knight of Wands again. And I got the King of Swords. Oh, and now I don't do reversals, and I try to make sure my cards are upright. I just got the Tower in reverse. And the Moon. There's secrets, there's things hidden in the shadows. So we can all just put love and light and protection around our country, around everybody, just everybody and everything, because we don't want anything like, like another 9/11 happening. That's so weird how that tower. I mean, I don't do reversals. I have to look up a tower reversal. I think you're muted, Al. Oh, you got the tower. Oh, wow. See, I usually don't read reversals.
I'm not reading on this.
So we can just pray and put light around everybody, the world, the country. Oh, yeah, he does. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, great. Tower suggests that chaos is on the way. It could be sensed, but is deeply avoided. So, free will, right? Things can always change energy wise. Maybe we can go ahead and not fear monger, not put the fear in everybody that something's going to happen, but just hold everybody in love, in light, ask the angels, ask our higher powers, whoever our ancestors, just to put surrounding love and light around everybody. Doesn't matter who they are. Just put love and light around, and that the right thing is done, and that anything that negative is maybe trying to be planned, gets thwarted. So, hello, Judith, my dear. Um, and hello, Gypsy. Gypsy's referring to the clicking. So, yep, we were reading on the clicking. Something that also, so that's something that happened on Gypsy's journey as well. The clicking might be, a way to get our attention. If we're not paying attention. So I don't know if Jane is still here. I don't think so. But Jane had popped in and said, "Oh wow, as a child, I would dream about a house with several doors. There were always more doors. Now it makes perfect sense. Thank you." Oh, because we were talking about. Well, that was way back in the beginning. So Jane, I'm sorry, honey, because after that, if you watch on playback, I mean that you posted that way before we even started talking about the weed and the smoking and everything. So um, maybe I can ask Jane later on, and I can share that with you, Allyson. Christina, are you still here? Because we have one question left. Someone asking. And yes, light and love around everyone and everything. What do you think of that?
Christina, that is somebody most likely that's a very common smell from the dead. Whoever smoked a cigar.
Yep, she's still here.
That's what that is. So either somebody that's a relative of yours or a loved one, an ancestor that you may or may not have even known. It could also be just I think that's familial.
It is. I got the Knight of Swords, which is they were coming clear through. They letting you know that they were there. I got the Lover's card, which is about close relationships, whether intimate, family, friends. And at the bottom, I got the 10 of Cups, which is about, family emotions, happiness, joy, and celebration. So I think this was family or somebody that you consider family. But I don't know anyone smoking cigars. This
doesn't matter.
Might be
Does
way.
not matter. It could be your grandfather that you never met, or your great grandfather, hell, your grandma for that much, depending on where you were from, and not even. I'm just saying it could be anybody. I never knew my great, obviously grandfather. He's one of my guides. And he's around me. He might have smoked a pipe or a cigar, but I wouldn't know because it was so long ago. And I'm not saying that's what it is, Christina. I'm just saying that you can have people around you that in this lifetime you don't remember, but they watch us from the other side, right? You can have because time doesn't exist on the other side, supposedly, and I'm sure that it doesn't. So it doesn't seem like long, and they'll wait for you to incarnate and whatever, and they'll come around you. So it wouldn't matter what smell. Like if it's somebody that you don't know and they're around you and it's an ancestor, they could bring you any smell. You're not going to recognize it because it doesn't mean anything to you anyway, but it's their calling card. So, I wonder if Carolyn's still here. This is a relative of yours.
Christina, I think so. And I think that it's somebody that was from another country. Because I got the Knight of Swords, which to me feels male in this instance. And then I wanted a clarifier, and I got the Six of Swords. So I think that this is somebody that may have been across seas. You don't know anybody, so this may have very well been an ancestor that you never got to meet, which would connect with the Lover's card, with connections with family, relationships. And I also got the Ace of Wands, and a line caught my attention from the the writer here in the book, and it says, "This is an open invitation to embark on a journey of self-discovery and self-knowledge, fueled by this divine fire." And what also wands are fire. So I feel that this person is an ancestor. And if you are embarking on a journey of self discovery for yourself and opening up your gifts, this could be that ancestor that's being drawn to you to help you through this. So
I just asked my cards and I got the King of Clubs. It's a friendly older man relation. Most likely with dark hair and eyes. Doesn't mean that it is, but that's the card that flew out of the deck that I made. So, yeah. Yeah.
very cool. Let's see. My great
And this
grandmother.
is a full 52 card deck.
Yeah. Lizzie was just sharing that her great grandmother is with me, and I have a great grandmother that I think is one of my guides as well. Judith, Allyson and I are doing, if anybody has questions on regarding a dream or a paranormal experience that they want, if you would like for us to pull cards on, we're not doing personal questions tonight. And we have been on for about we're at 9:30.
Some women in the South smoke a pipe.
Cool.
Don't ask me why I'm saying that. That just got some women
And my
in the
first
South smoke a
car
pipe.
smelled like
They
cigar
did
smoke.
smoke a pipe, and a pipe and a cigar are going to smell the same.
Yeah. So I didn't see her put anything else. All righty. Let's see.
Some cigar smoke, and as we're talking about smoke, I can't stand it, but some cigar smoke, like when it first lights, it's not horrifying. It's not horrible. I don't like it.
Carolyn asked, "I'm still here. Did he live on an island?" And I'm thinking he might have, because I did get the Six of Swords, which is the boat, which is crossing over, moving from, of course, it could be moving from one situation to a better one.
She doesn't even know who it belonged to, so.
But Christina's
she's
in
asking
Australia.
you if he lived on an
island? I think Carolyn's asking Christina if he lived on an island, which makes sense to me.
Yeah, it absolutely could be.
And Christina lives in Australia, so this could be from, across the pond and then from another continent.
Maybe the spirit is connected more with my husband's family. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Either one. I mean, who smelled it? It was him, right? Who smelled it? I think she said her husband.
What do you think? This came home from my work, and my husband said, "I can smell cigar smoke."
Yep.
And no one smokes around me. So your husband smelled it on you. So
on her. What?
Her husband said that he could smell the cigar smoke on her, but
that's not what it says.
What do you think about this? I came home from work and my husband said I can smell cigar smoke. No one smokes around me.
No one smokes around me.
So he could smell it, when she came home.
I don't know. The way she worded that, I don't know what. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Tom, whomever smelt it, dealt it.
Right.
Oh.
The way I interpret the way she worded it doesn't mean that I'm right.
It
was that he came in and he smelled it, and then she went on to say there's nobody that smokes there around them or her whatever. Maybe he did mean that she smelled like smoke, but then she wouldn't be asking the question. So
okay. Well, do we have time for one more? Are you good?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Judith said, "Who was the woman's voice that calmed me and made me feel safe when I lived in the haunted basement of my childhood home?"
Grandma. Carolyn. Oh, wait.
Carolyn, too bad you just couldn't pop on with Allyson.
Who was the woman's voice that calmed me and made me feel safe when I lived in the haunted basement of my childhood home? It was a guide, but I'm feeling like grandma. Carolyn, what are you getting?
And we have somebody new while we're waiting. Sweetly Morbid Bear. New subscriber via Blue Heron. Okay, so thank you. She said I should come in. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So I'm going to put I'm going to put Judith's question back up if I can find it, so we can keep her name and the question in view. All righty, so Carolyn would like to know, did he come from New Zealand? Carolyn, I don't know if you're talking still to Christina or if you're referring to Judith.
It's not the new one.
Yeah. So
How about the boat or whatever one you were reading on?
Yeah, the island. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna pull for Judith. Okay. She's thinking maybe it was her grandmother. So Judith, let me take this down so I can see your question and your energy. Who was the woman's voice that calmed me and made me feel safe when I lived in the haunted basement of my home? No, you can't come up right now. Okay. Debbie, you got great grandmother? Okay. So I believe so. The overall energy, it's not a court card, but I did get the Nine of Pentacles. And this is a woman who is someone who is financially stable, successful, very independent, and very much she lives a life of leisure. Not saying that she's not hardworking, because it took hard work for a lot, especially women, to get to this point. But this is somebody, and with this dress being in purples too, I'm feeling that for me, I associate purples with grandmas just because of the perfume bottles and the perfumes and things. And like the type of violet perfumes and whatnot, but also um, your higher, like your third eye, your higher consciousness. They have the purples, the indigos, the violets. Um, but what's interesting, Judith, I did get the Ace of Swords to come right out, so I feel like you already have an idea of who it was. The Ace of Swords, clear, it's clarity, it's communication, coming right through to you. But then I got two cards that are interesting. I got the Justice card, which is about fairness and balance. And so, of course, she's a female as well. So this was somebody who was trying to help you deal with things that may have been unbalanced or may have seemed unjust, or things that were going on in this house. Because I got the Emperor next. So for me, I don't know, Judith, if there was somebody in this household that was very strict, very, you know, had a almost not like a tyrannical rule, but very like, for the emperors, they're very structured. They're very deep, not demanding, but they're an emperor. They rule. They're structured. Um, you know, they feel they have to, the leadership, people who are, in charge of home, or of home, of family, of one's domain. You get the idea. Because then I got the 8 of Cups, and that's walking away. So I don't know. It almost feels like this wasn't good energy that was going on at home, and this woman brought balance, um, brought a sense of calm or fairness to the situation to help you to help you through, or the family through, whatever this other energy, whether it was another spirit going on in the house, or if it was a living person that had a very strong, overpowering emperor energy. Because I do see the walking away, and I'm getting a lot of main reds. Ace of Swords here is a very strong red, which is about, can be about aggression. It could be about passion. It could be intensity. Um, Again, the emperor, wearing the red, royalty, um, person of power. Red is a color for advertising, communication, getting that out. Just a very aggressive, overpowering, a very warming, but it can also be, and then you got that red again. So I feel like this individual um, left left your life at some point, or this could represent you walking away from the situation. But the bottom overall energy was the 9 of Pentacles. So I do feel it was a female energy, just like along with the Justice card, helping you to stay balanced, helping you stay grounded, and looking out for you until you were able to move on, or this other individual moved on. Yes, very bad energy at home and in the childhood. Okay. Um, let's see. Carolyn's been sharing a few things. Okay. She washed clothes, kept food. I see her cleaning a carpet. She is a strong woman. Okay.
Damn. I got the Hermit and the Queen of Swords. That's exactly what Carolyn's describing.
And I got the 9 of Pentacles, being very, independent, very grounded, very home based. I got the Justice, um, trying to help her bring balance, bring, fairness, strength to her. I got this Ace of Swords. So yeah, that could represent the Ace of Swords too. That energy of hers. Very interesting. Um,
And not necessarily a grandma, definitely grandma energy.
she said our home had bad spirits. I left at 15 years old. Okay.
I did have the Devil card. I put it back. I had some other cards, but these were the two. This one was really sticking out at me. And again, I'm getting some symbolism tonight. I don't usually read like that, but the Hermit is very much a, it is a homey energy for sure. Anybody that is a Virgo, they are very much attached to their home. They are very homey, if you will, that kind of thing. But this woman, look at her. And that's very, it was just when I was looking at it, the whole grandma imagery, but this is that Queen of Swords, and she, she's all about business and protection and that kind of thing. Not a big mother energy though, but these coming out together, was the whole point, is so that I would get what it meant. So, very interesting. I still feel like grandma, but doesn't mean she was your grandma, but it was a grandma energy. And the Queen of Swords can also be the communication, right? Like what you were getting. Yeah.
And I also pulled Judith, the 2 of Swords. And the 2 of Swords is about decision making. And in some decks, it is, the title of the card is also peace, being at peace with making a decision or having a choice, almost kind of like, you know, like, and again, like another crossroads, which lets you having to move on. I did get the Page of Cups, and I feel like that was you, represents you in this. Someone who is very deeply intuitive, very empathic of other people's feelings.
Innocent child.
Yeah. And also kind of like, the dreamer. I don't know if this negative person, because she mentioned that she lived in a very negative household with people. So this must have been difficult being in a household like that when you are this empathic. This also, Page of Cups is associated with creativity, artistry. It could also be a water sign. Very. I'm looking at the card here. It feels to me it feels Piscean, but at the same time, though, also the cards can be very moody. So whenever you went through, the difficult mood swings or the moods of what was going on in the home, there seemed to be like again that Justice card, that balance, bringing a sense of balance to you. Again, the Two of Swords, and then the overall energy was the Five of Wands. So yes, you said it was a very difficult household, a lot of like turmoil, fighting. And then I got the King of Pentacles. It doesn't have to be a female, but the King of Pentacles came out, and the Kings are about you know like father energy, someone a provider for the household, someone being very grounded, very strong in finances, providing security and stability. So this feminine energy could have helped you provide that sense for you during those rough moments, giving you a sense of security, a foundation to help you through those moments. So, yeah, those are my cards for you, Judith. Yes, my father was. Okay. And she says, I am a Pisces. Okay, Judith. Thank you. I was kind of going on. I go, well, Heather, there are two other, water signs, but I just wanted to say Pisces. So, did you get any more cards or were you done, Allyson?
No, I'm actually put my cards away.
Okay. All righty. Well, Judith was the last one. And so we're almost on 10 o'clock. Let's see. She doesn't like strangers in her house. If you were 9 years old, you had to work in the house. Okay. I can see that with the Nine of Pentacles, being in charge of house and home. And all right, Carola, you have to let Allyson know when you and Peter can join us again. We miss having you. So when both your energies are up and you want to set a date with Allyson and I, please let us know. We miss having you. And so everybody, thank you for joining Allyson and I tonight. Oh my, I just noticed that your shirt said 1990. That's the year I graduated from high school. Class of 90. That's awesome. So let's see. Sunday, Angie's going to be on my channel. We're going to be doing readings using I can't get to it, but the Human Spirit Oracle that she gifted me this summer, and she got it herself. So we're going to do like a deck discussion about it and do some readings. And Monday, Nancy won't be able to join me for Divine Feminine, but Elizabeth from the Intuitive Me will be joining me for ancestral readings for that day. And then on Tuesday night at 8, Karen, Care Bear Bar Cards, and Kristen Louise will be joining me for readings using our witchy oracles. And so it's going to be a lot of fun next week. And Allyson, you got anything coming up?
No.
Besides Friday with, okay.
No.
So, and hello, Melly. Thank you for popping in and saying hi. Yes, Nancy's okay. What's going on is that this weekend, her son David, he has a big Halloween celebration. Even with just after having Hurricane Helene, he's still their property was spared. So he's got his animatronics all out, and unfortunately, someone stole his Michael Myers out of their front yard in the middle of the night this past week. He had inflated it, and Nancy had done a sign on it with a door saying, North Carolina strong, and people were coming by, and the kids were enjoying it. It was a mood lifter, spirit lifter for everything that they just went through with the hurricane, and they were featured on the news and everything. And then this past week, in the middle of the night, someone came and stole it out of his front yard, out of their yard. So they're looking for it, but he's still going ahead with the weekend celebration. And Ginger Faye, she's going to be driving up to hang out with Nancy because they don't live far from each other, and they're going to be doing readings, not live, but I believe at Nancy's property. They're going to be doing Halloween live. So she said she's probably going to be a little worn out after the weekend with hanging out with Ginger and doing readings. So I asked Elizabeth if she would like to join me, and she said yes. So looking forward to having Elizabeth for the first time on my channel. But yes, Nancy is quite all right. And she's been through a lot. She lost her husband last year, and she had to put down her Lily Grace. Then a few days later, Helene hit, and then this thing with having her son's Michael Myers stolen out of their front yard. She just needed a break and to regroup and to recoup. And I hope she has a blast with Ginger this weekend. So Sweetly Morbid Bear, can someone drop Aries Girl Tarot's link? Yeah, if one of my mods could do that, that would be great. Also, Allison's
I'll be right
information
back.
is in the description below. Thank you, Ange. So there you go. Sweetly Morbid Bear. I actually pulled a bear card a little while ago from my lunatic Lenormand. Though I really don't like calling it lunatic because of all the mental health stigma. Got to kind of watch some verbiage, So I call it my Poe Lenormand. And let's see. Tom says, look at to do mod things. Yeah, right, Tom. Tom's part of my blue crew. So yeah, Nancy, a Crohn's intuition. Yeah. Oh, I think someone's making cocoa or coffee for me. I will let you know. I have a cold right now. Oh, I hope you feel better. Carolyn, that's this time of year. Um, let's see. It was blue heron. Yes, not cosmic blue. Blue heron. Yes. Got your birds mixed up. Girl. So, yes, Nancy is a sweetheart. So, yeah, Tom, I emailed you earlier about this weekend. So let me know. The invitation's open. Um, but yeah, been a wonderful week. And Allison said she's coming right back. So I'm going to do a sip of water. I saw. Okay. All good. I'm just glad you're okay, with the rear ending. So, yeah, like Miss Tarot D mentioned earlier, just be mindful of your body because sometimes, I'm not putting that energy out there on you, bro. But, just make sure you keep an eye on how you're feeling the next few days in case you have to, you know. I know you are on a show tomorrow with Gerald Tarot Stash, Hershey, and Blushing Nerd Tarot, who is Brian. The last time those four got together, it was a hoot. It was a blast. So make sure to check that out tomorrow afternoon. And hey, girl, Amanda's here. That's my friend Amanda. We're going to be wrapping it up, girl. But thanks for popping in, saying hey. So everybody, thank you so much again for joining Allyson and I. We appreciate you hanging out with us every Friday night. And yeah, we hope everyone has a great weekend. It's supposed to be some nice weather coming up in areas for Halloween for trick or treaters. So have a great weekend. Be safe out there. And we'll see you on one of our next shows or in
Have
chat.
a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, y'all. Bye bye.